Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to the Short Film Ideas channel. This is Chike Kamara, and today I want to just talk briefly about the comedy short film and what should be your mindset going into developing a short film idea that is comical, that is funny. If you think about it, and this is something I learned from studying how to do stand-up comedy. I do not do stand-up comedy, but I like to um, learn about different things so that I can have a more diverse skill set when I when I do my writing, or when I'm in a setting where I'm talking to people and I want to make them laugh or whatever. But one of the things they always say about humor is basically um, challenging somebody's assumption, challenging the audience's assumptions about something and getting them to see a new way or an alternate way of seeing it. And it comes off as clever, and it usually makes someone laugh, but it's very simple. It's just something it's a skill you can actually learn, that if you practice enough, you'll be able to come up with funny things all the time. Um, but it's not just effective to do that with words. You can do that as well with um, film. Um, I was watching a comedy short film late last year, and it was during it was in the middle of the pandemic, and I cannot remember the name of it. It was on YouTube, but and I cannot remember the name of the film. I'll try to find it, but um, it starts. The short film opens with a guy um, looking through his refrigerator, and there's nothing in there. He has nothing to eat. Maybe he has a can of beer. And then he calls one of his ex-girlfriends, who obviously still has some sort of feelings for him. And he charms her, and then she says, okay, come over. And then he's like, well, before that, he's like, trying to seduce her and talk, charm her and all of that. And then he was like, maybe you can come over, they can order something and, and whatever, and just have a good, Netflix and chill type of situation. So anyway, she's up for it, and she still likes him. And then he says, okay, so they agree that he can come over and they can chill. So they show her getting ready. She's obviously excited, so she obviously still has feelings for him. She's getting all pretty and cute and putting on something cute. And the guy comes over, and then she hugs him and gives him a little kiss on the cheek, but he seems lukewarm about it, but she doesn't notice. And so she was like, well, let me go tidy up. And he was like, cool, I'll wait on the couch or whatever. And then then she goes to the bathroom and primps her hair or whatever. And then she comes back, and the guy is gone. Her fridge is open, and the front door is open. And then you cut to him running down the street as fast as he can with like as much food as he can. And there's like a punchline, something like, that bitch thought she had me or whatever. I don't know what it was, but it was like a little punchline at the end. But I think it was funny because it had to do with the pandemic. And our expectations as the audience was thinking, okay, he basically charmed his ex-girlfriend or romantic interest because he didn't have any food, and he was just going over there to eat with her so he can have a nice meal. So that was our assumption. We didn't think anything about the fact that it's a pandemic and he has no food in his house, and he's been probably up in his house sort of quarantined. And then she's getting all beautiful. I mean, they really play on our expectations. She's getting pretty. She's a pretty girl, actually. She's primping and she's talking, and he says something back from the other room. But then after all that, I mean, they really work on our expectations, and that's how you sort of put the audience in a certain state of mind. You really set it up. And with him just running full speed down the street with food from her refrigerator is just hilarious. And then he says something, a little punchline at the end. I can't remember what it was, but it had something to do with her thinking that she had him or something like that. But the main thing is, the punchline is, no, he didn't go over there to get nothing to eat. He went over there to steal her groceries so he can have some food at his house. So I might not be telling it funny enough, but it's pretty funny. It was like a little surprise, and it made me laugh at the end. And so I say that to say that you can use, I mean, basically when you do a comedy short film, it's a lot like writing a joke. You have your opening, you have your setup, and then you sort of build on the expectation, like feed the expectation, continue to feed it, and then at the end you have a punchline, which is a reversal, which totally goes against the grain. And that is how you can approach doing a comedy short film. It's one thing to have funny people do funny things, but it's the expectation that the audience has and the smart way, the punchline that you apply within the structure of the short film that that really draws the audience in and gets them to laugh. Okay, and then of course, when you have that situation, when you do a comedy, you must have charming characters, even if they're bad people, even if they're, unseemly, homeless, whatever, or they're beautiful, pretty, stuck up, any of that. They must have some sort of charm on some level so that people can relate on some level to them. And yeah, there you go.